Yo, how's everyone doing today? My name is Quin Newell, and I'm a fine artist. At the moment, I'm based in Bangkok, Thailand, but originally I was born in Italy and living most of my life in southeast London, in a place called Peckham. Now, I've been making art ever since I was a child, but my professional career started around age 21. Group shows are really important, and getting to know a form of community was vital for me to kind of make connections into the art world, which was very new at that time. Coming from Peckham, there wasn't really much of a artistic incentive for me initially. There wasn't really that many people that I knew, especially black people that I knew, who were artists. And it wasn't until much later that I started to get into oil painting. So I became interested in Renaissance art, Venetian art to be precise, which is very close to home for me. Having been brought up in the Veneto region in Italy, which is the northeast of Italy, my mum was a tour guide at the time, and she would sometimes bring me along on excursions to Venice. So this deep interest in the arts was probably there, but I just was not conscious of it until much later. In the year 2015, I actually came in contact with an artist called Richie Culver, and he'd been living in Berlin at the time, and he encouraged me to move to Berlin. And this was the first time that I basically was living by myself. Now, whilst in Berlin, I came across meditation, simple meditation via an app called Headspace. This kind of solitude that I was able to experience for the first time allowed me to go within myself. So all the answers that I was looking for to these questions that I had, I could get through these quiet moments in meditation. And it was during this time I started to make videos and started to make music for the first time. So for example, Newell TV, the first episode was recorded when I was in Berlin. Basically, I wasn't painting so much, but the idea of making a video to basically give context to a painting was the idea behind that initial video. Because I felt that just by posting an image on Instagram, you as the viewer, you weren't getting enough information about what actually was going on, maybe the reasons why. I felt that I needed to give more information. So these videos, this YouTube channel, will be a way for me to give more depth to my practice and also to the things that I'm interested in. Now, I feel like the artist is someone who has the possibility of showing you something that you haven't seen before. But the role of the artist has changed a lot over time. For example, the artist may have been the shaman at one point, someone who could go within. It could be someone that could use the same ability to bring back the answer to a question or find the necessary treatment for your ailment. The artist could also be a craftsman, someone who hones their skills in and in some way channels energy to be able to create something spectacular. Where I find that the artists of today are more like celebrities. They are put on pedestals, and the idea of the genius comes into play, where I think it was Immanuel Kant proposed that artist is a genius, and if you're a genius, anything you do is genius, right? So if I make one little drawing, it's genius, it's amazing. But what happens then is that the whole process of learning a discipline goes out the window, because you're a genius. If I say you're a genius, you don't have to do anything about it. You could do anything, right? And I feel like this is the age that we've been living in. But as of late, I have this feeling that we are slowly starting to come out of this chapter and beginning some kind of new chapter where actually some form of integrity and some form of depth is actually required. And people do not just simply believe like the celebrity anymore. They want to see a little bit more. And I think this will be a big change where there'll be more questions, because people are becoming more conscious, if you want to call it. They're more aware, right? They're not believing in the same things. Now, I didn't quite speak about the reasons that got me into meditation. The main reason was when my father passed away in the year 2012, whilst I was still at university. Now, during that time, as a family, we didn't really know how to process the emotion of grief. We didn't grieve properly. And I kind of got caught up in university life, and my social life and my art career kind of was impacted in that way. I wasn't really making much work. And I was riding my fixed gear bike at the time with some friends, and we were going to a party, and I was drinking. And basically, I got into a car crash and had a near-death experience. And it was whilst I was flying through the air, out of body. I basically had a communication with my father, and he told me that I need to take painting very seriously. And then after which I hit the floor, everything went back to normal, and I kind of forgot about the whole experience until about a month or so later when I started to reflect upon this. And then as my confidence grew more and more, I started to get more interested in oil painting, etc., etc. And then boom, now I'm in Berlin. So after about a year in Berlin, I was in communication with an artist called Derek Adams. And he invited me that summer to New York to be his studio assistant. And it was an awesome experience for me, because this was the first time coming in contact with other black people who were making art. Like, I'd never seen this before. You must understand. Coming from London and in the UK, it was not common. So just to give some context of my heritage, my mom is Italian and my dad is Jamaican. I've struggled with this mixture for a long time because sense of identity is always in question, and it really depends on the circumstances that you go through in life to kind of help you to build a sense of who you are and what you should be doing. And I really have to thank meditation and Buddhist practices alongside many other spiritual traditions to help me dissolve these boundaries and to actually see that we are a little bit more than physical matter, right? That we are more than just a name or a nationality. So I continued my painting practice, gathering more and more information, delving into various different aspects of art, fine art, miniature painting, sculpting, the occult, and also esoteric literature. I would look at multiple world religions because I was hungry for knowledge, right? I wanted to understand what the human condition was. And I hope that through these kind of videos we'll be able to delve a little bit deeper into more specific topics, which maybe now I will not go into. And if I'm able to present this in a pictorial manner, even the better. So I'll leave it at that. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. So take care and much love. Peace.